AI in project management as a whole, and also the PMI-CPMAI certification. So we are going to learn in this webinar what is the certification all about, obviously, and also how AI actually is impacting projects in a good way, in an efficient way. What is the right value AI is providing for the projects and how it is being able to handle, and what is the exact outcome of the AI in projects, and also the outcome of CPMA certification, right? So we have with us today Mr. Harish from India and Mr. Sanal from Dubai joining from us, who are going to lead these sessions, two experts who are going to lead these sessions. And this is a series of webinar what we are planning. And this is our first webinar on this topic on CPMAI and everything we should know about this certification and AI as a whole. And we are going to plan multiple series of webinars on the same, with same experts and different experts from different regions, right? And on that note, I would like to quickly introduce Mr. Harish. So many of us here know Harish very well, right? So he has 30 plus years of industry experience, and who comes from project program and portfolio management background, and has handled multiple projects and portfolios in his tenure, and been doing the program and portfolio management training from 12 plus years now already. And thousands of people have already been certified under him and got benefit out of his training. That is really good to see. He's joining us today. And he's also working on AI in program management day in and day out. And he's here to share his experience, how AI is shaping up and how this new CPMAI certification is also coming up, right? And I think we also have Sanal with us today. I think he would be joining a minute delay because of the mic issue, maybe. But I'll just give a brief introduction about Sanal. Sanal is an expert who's having 18 plus years of industry experience. He's joining from Dubai today, right? And he's also leading multiple projects and working on large scale program currently, and also working on AI day in and day out, and exploring how it is going to benefit himself, his students, and his organization in a consulting approach, right? So with this note, so I would be actively monitoring Q&A sessions along with my team. So, and whatever question and answers we have, we can actively drop in the chat whenever the chat window gets open. Along with that, let's have last 10 to 15 minutes of this webinar for the discussion, whatever we are going to cover the topics today. Let us keep it last 10-15 minutes as completely discussion oriented, and we can chat with experts regarding whatever questions we may have. Right? On this note, I would like to hand it over to Mr. Harish. Please, over to you.
Thank you, Krishna, for the introduction, and also for Sanal. As I see this world, I mean, today's presentation is about understanding the AI in a very high level and how this CPMAI framework is going to help us in that, and why we should pursue this. Can I request all of you to be on mute, please? Can you see? Is that coming from my side?
There's a lot of noise is coming, sir. Not able to hear properly.
Okay. How about now? I hope it is okay now.
And now it's clear, sir. Now it's clear. Yeah.
Okay, good. So we are going to talk about the CPMAI, and as a first introduction to the CPMAI, I thought a couple of questions that you all may have, and that is what we are going to address today here. Okay, and at the end, as Krishna said, for any specific query, either you can chat or maybe voice over later when it is open. Okay, so we'll talk about why we need a CPMI. What is CPMI? Why should I pursue that? I may be from construction background. Should I pursue CPMI? These are the kind of questions that we are going to ask. Okay. So Krishna, okay. Now let's look into what is CPMAI first of all, right? So now for that, before even going to that, we should understand about the projects, how we are executing the projects. See, you all may be familiar with the project methodologies. We have waterfall method, we have hybrid, we have agile practice. There are three major type of project methodologies that we see. Now, these project methodologies are applied to a specific industry. It may be chemical, construction, ITSM, or something else. Similarly, now you apply that methodology onto data projects. See, this domain, I mean the AI domain or a data engineering domain, is a completely a new vertical. Of course, may have an element of software development and ITSM bit married to this, but this is a completely a different domain altogether. So when we execute a data projects, okay, there is a specific life cycle that is going to we have to follow. When we don't have a good understanding of the data engineering, and when we apply the normal methodologies, I mean waterfall or a hybrid or a agile practice, most likely it may fail. And the statistics, I'm just quoting PMI statistics, about 80% of the AI projects as of last year were failure. This is almost double of that of the, the software development projects. Okay, so this is where the CPMAI framework comes into picture. Here we apply the project management principles, especially the agile principles and hybrid, you can say as well, onto the data projects. See, when you apply this generic management methodologies onto a domain, you are going to define the milestones, the processes, the tasks, the role responsibilities, the skill set, okay, tool and techniques, how we are going to work. That is precisely how this is applied onto the AI or data engineering projects. Okay, so that is how we see the CPMAI coming into picture. Now, let's talk about the CPMAI as an overall view. Okay, this CPMAI, what do you call? This is certified professional in managing AI. That is what the definition is about. This is around 6-phase methodology. If you see the picture that I have, okay, you can see how they're all connected to each other. So it is kind of a complex system. So we have a specific methodology here, which talks about how you can manage the AI projects. And this is built around 6, the phases, you can say phase. And the thing is, any phase to any phase, you may jump on as well. Okay, because of the iterative in nature. Okay, that is how we see over here. So we talk about the business understanding of the overall requirements. Why we need a AI project. AI is not an answer to every other requirements. Okay, we look at the AI or a cognitive or what do you call it, data engineering, only to the set where we look at some cognitive problems. When I say cognitive problem, something can't be solved by the deterministic approach. See, if you look at regular software, okay, I'm talking about the software engineering now. It all follow a logic. So there may be multiple methods over there, but when you follow that logic or when you execute a software, there is a deterministic output. Whereas here we look at the data, which is probabilistic. That's the reason when you make a query to, let's say, Copilot or Gemini Cloud, whatever it gives is not exactly 100%, and you may not get it as well. Okay? So whenever you make a query, let's say you make a query, any of the query to any of these two LLMs now, it gives an output. And after 1 hour, you make a same query, you can't get the same answer. That is the nature of the data, how we analyze and how we are going to deliver the value to stakeholders. Well, so this is about 6 phases. Let me just give you a broad overview of how we look at. So business understanding. And for that meeting business understanding, what is the data that you need, right? Data. Example, you may have a chatbot. One of the very simple application of AI, probably you all would have seen, is the chatbot. So when you make a query with your product or a service provider, you are chatting with the chatbot, maybe as a first level. That chatbot looks at your query and looks into the data it has, and then comes out with an answer for you or a response for you. Okay, so what type of data is required? Then whatever the data we get may not be fully compatible with what the query that we have, right? For the chatbot, imagine you are going to have the data of the past couple of years of database, right? Or you may go for some already available database from the market. So you have many. So that data we have to prepare. Okay, mean you may have to do some operations on the data. Let's say to clean it, label it, augment it, massaging it, likewise. Then we call it as a model development, wherein we feed this data or we train the model, AI model, with the data that we prepare. That is a model development. That is a fourth one I see, right? And then the model evaluation, how the AI model is working on the data for our queries. I mean, this is a very complex subject. I'm just trying to make simple today as much as possible. Okay, so example, whatever the data is giving, is that really, I mean, the response the AI is giving, can we trust that? What source its response is going to be, right? And then how much reliable it is. So there are many questions that we need to ask when you ask or use a AI tool or a data engineering analytics. Then comes the model operationalization. In other words, how are you going to have this data, the model that we developed into the production, right? So if you look at the picture that I have, okay, at a high level, you can visualize data is a central for every other operation that we do. So when we look at the model evaluation, example, we build the model, we have the data, and we are evaluating it. If you don't see a good level of quality, right, or repeatability or recall, then you go back to business understanding. Is the level of quality that we have is sufficient to meet the organization objectives or not? So these kind of the question that we ask every time we move from one phase to the other, so that we fall back onto the previous phases. And many more. One more thing, we always start small and we iterate. Okay, we iterate. This means the whole cycle is going to iterate for the next cycle, something like how we do in Agile. Okay, for that matter, we no need to understand the Agile principle, not required. Too much not required. Okay, good. So I mean, this is just a high level view about the CPMAI methodology. As I said, today we are going to talk about the CPI methodology and why it is important for us. Okay, now let me go back. Now, I talked about what is CPMAI and why do the projects fail. Now, let's look at why should we pursue the CPMAI? Okay. For that, let's go with first who should pursue and for whom it may not be that applicable. Look at over here. AI is going to be a technology used into every other industry, right? Maybe we are in the cusp of the overall explosion of the AI. See, I'm not talking about the bubble and all that. Every industry, I mean, every technology, when it starts, there is going to be a bubble. How much it burst, where it is going to settle is the question. But this is like redefining the way we work into every other domains, be it construction or a chemical engineering or a government services or a project management services. Wherever you go, I'm pretty sure AI is going to be having its presence. Give me 2 more years, we are going to be in a somewhat a different world. That's what I firmly believe, because the technology has improved like that. So earlier, when we started with the internet explosion, uh, almost in couple of years, maybe 5 or 8 years, everyone have the website, everyone is connected to the internet in a way or the other, we are getting benefit. Then there was a advancement in terms of the networking, right? I mean, cloud computing, be it memory services or application services or scaling up, that becomes so easy maybe in last 5 to 8 years before. Then cloud, everyone was on the cloud. When we have lots of data generated over the last 10, 20 years, now we are at the AI development era. Okay. So as I said, in about 2 years, I'm pretty sure every other company, every other domain industry is going to be impacted. Of course, like how the world moves, everyone has to move, otherwise you stop over there itself. So this AI, everyone is going to use. However, we are talking about how are you going to manage the AI projects. Okay, not only that, not only that, not only about managing the AI, but we should also know how the AI works, right? If you are going to manage the AI project, or you may be responsible for overseeing a AI initiative, it may be a vendor may be developing a AI for you, or you're going to buy an AI application for your organization. In any context, when you're going to have an AI application, I'm pretty sure you need to have an understanding about the overall AI technology, how it is going to add value to your organization. Okay, and that is where this CPMAI is not for just managers. Anyone connected with the project, I can say is this is applicable. Okay, project, program, product managers, data engineering teams, PMO, senior management, HR director. You name the position, I'm pretty sure you need it. Okay, so for whom it is may not be, let's say. Okay, this do not need sorry. Okay, if you ask me here, who may not need it, those who are in operations, I mean operations, who are, I mean, when I say operations, I hope you have an understanding. Those who are responsible to maintain the system and are responsible to get the value back to the organization, generic definition, right, may not need it. Okay. However, we see that, we all keep changing the roles, responsibilities in any organization. Then again, you may have to have a good understanding of the AI. Then also this is going to be helpful. Good. Now, look at over here. I'm sorry. Okay. Then, okay. How does the CPMAI is going to benefit? Let's have a look. See, what I have is the PMI statistics. This is about 6 months before. But this world, believe me, is changing at the rate beyond our expectations. I mean, our imagination. Every day morning, from breakfast to lunch, you can see a whole lot of things moves in this world. But world was not like this maybe 10, 15 years before, right? If you see a car that used to get a makeover maybe every 5 or 10 years earlier, 5 years, let's say. But now, every 1 to 2 years, you find a completely new type of a car. Not only car, everything, the technology that you are into domain, or the way you read the news, the way you interact with others, everything is going to get a transformation. The world is moving so fast, and this AI is also fueling it, right? So whatever the data I have is from PMI. Now this has already changed, but this is the potential of the AI market that is going to offer. Okay, quite a big one. 632 billion by 2028. That's a research that has been done. And this is quite a huge term, right? So every industry gets impacted. Now, look at over here. Why should I pursue the CPMAI course? Okay. There are many benefits for one to get certified by PMI on the CPMAI. Okay. First thing is, look at the bridge skill between business and the AI teams. What is happening today in any company, most of the people, especially in the senior management, may not have a good understanding of the AI technology and how we can leverage that to the organization growth. Okay. And when it comes to that, as a one senior manager or in the middle level management, one should have an understanding of what AI can do, what AI can't do, so that we can fit that into the projects, in the organization to reap the benefits. Okay. So currently it is low. I'm not saying that it is not, but what I'm saying is awareness about the AI. Of course, we all use the Copilot or a Gemini or a Claude that is there, but AI is beyond. It's not just about using these LLMs, right? So that skill has to be bridged between the senior management and the mid-level management as well. So this is not going to be just for the data engineers, right? So everyone should have a good understanding. This CPMAI certification from PMI is going to address that gap very well. It talks about the AI technology in detail. It talks about how are you going to develop it, as I said, right? What are the risks that we are going to have, right? And what are the different options that we have, right? And this CPMAI is a, what do you call, vendor agnostic. Okay. When I say vendor agnostic, this CPMAI methodology is not specific to, let's say, one the tool ecosystem. Example, Claude. Okay. Claude is maybe you can say number one, right? They have a very good system. They have a lot of tools. So when you are employing the AI adoption in your company, in your organization, you may go with a Claude. But this CPMAI is beyond that, one level above that. Okay, you can apply Claude into the CPMAI framework, but this is vendor agnostic, mean independent. So this is not going to teach about or prescribe that you should use so and so tool or something. Okay, it is talks about the overall technology. Second, demand is rising across every other segment. Okay, so obviously we need to prepare for the demand. As I said, next 1 to 2 years, you see the whole lot of things are going to change. Obviously, we have to move into the world and you have to changing. That is what is, we all know change is the only constant. So you also have to change, right? And strengthens the employability in AI governance, compliance, responsible AI. This is the point number 3, right? See, as the AI adoption into the everyday life and in the organizations is going to increase, obviously there are going to be new roles are going to be created. This is true with any technology, not only with AI. So any new technology, new role, responsibilities, and whole vertical is going to be created. Very similarly, it happens here as well. So there is going to be a good demand, I'm pretty sure, for how are you going to govern the AI. We talk about the confidentiality, explainability, and data security, and we talk about the ethical responsibilities of the AI usage. So all of that and AI governance, very important topic. Okay? Imagine, just take a use case. When someone is riding a automatic car, okay, if that go and bump onto some, let's say, some people who are, crossing the road, who are you going to hold it responsible? Is the company who built the software, or the car, yourself, or the AI? It's a big question, right? So how are we going to fix all that thing here? Finally, people are responsible, isn't it? Accountable as well. So that is what it talks about AI governance. A lot of people who are going to be in the PMOs are going to have this job and the compliance as well. See, there is no good compliance in PMI, I mean, in AI world as of today. Of course, they are coming up. We have Europe Union Council have a good framework for AI compliance, and every country is developing their own compliance frame. I mean, the legal framework for using the AI as well. Okay, so the compliance is going to be a big business over here as well. See, one more thing is these are all continuous. Okay, I'm not talking about just the project phase. Example, we have a AI chatbot, simple one, and that also keeps evolving over the time. And there are going to be some complaints. You don't want the past record of a, let's say, a user and appearing to, I mean, sharing with everyone, right? And this keep evolving as well. So it is like a continual uh, the project cycle that we are going to have. This compliance also will keep on changing. Okay, and there is a need for aligning with the, I mean, meeting the compliance is going to be is a big thing. And of course, responsible AI, how we are going to have, I mean, compliance with the confidentiality, explainability, and legal framework. There is a huge thing. So all of this is going to need new set of create new set of role, and that's going to be a big thing as well. And as of today, there is less awareness about this compliance and responsibility and the governance among the AI community itself. Okay, I can also develop a AI application. It is not a big thing, really. You could do white code, you do some other code. There are a whole set of tools are there. But what I develop is something compliant with any of this. I mean, a lot of the legal framework that we see. Okay, right. So these are going to be a good question. The quality, how good my AI application is going to be. If you are buying an AI application from someone, you should also be able to validate how good the AI solution has been. Okay, and all of this, you know, like in a software, in the software world, we say there is no software without any defects, right? Similarly here as well. So it is a completely new domain that is shaping up. Okay, not only that, it also fourth point I'm talking about, accelerates the career growth for existing people itself within the organization. When you understand the AI, how the overall AI tech works, it is good. Okay, so you can also, I mean, as you grow, in the career, with an understanding of AI, I'm pretty sure you'll be able to make a better decisions. Okay, so these are some of the points that I just captured. However, as I said, there is much more. It is like how you're going to use mobile phones. Now it is with ease, isn't it? But when a mobile phone was introduced for the first time, people struggled because people have not seen that earlier. But now we all know how to use it. Even a child knows. Going forward, it will be like that. Okay, good. Now, let me go back. Now, the certification process. Okay. This CPMAI is from PMI. PMI is a global, the standard house. I mean, it is an institute and developing the standards for project, program, portfolio, and the derivatives like CPMAI as well. And they have a whole set of things. It is the world's premier institute, and the PMI methodology is almost into every other company. I mean, it's a derived way how we are going to do that, almost into every company. So CPMA is from PMI. PMI last year, 2025, I think in March, PMI acquired a company called Cognilytica. Okay. And they bought the process framework and they adopted into PMI process framework. So Now it is aligned to the PMI methodology as well. This is from December 2025. It's about 8 months from now. Okay. So now PMI is offering the CPMAI certification for the individuals. Now let's see how we are going to do that. Step 1, Acepro CPMI preparation course, like how we have in Acepro. You may see preparation course from others as well. Okay. Second step is to purchase the bundle pack from PMI. This is mandatory. Student kit plus exam virtual. Student kit have the presentations or the PDF self-learning course, right? And you are also paying for the exam eligibility when it comes to the step 2, right? Then simple, take the step. Okay. Now, who can take it? Eligibility. I just go back. Yeah. There is no prior requirement or a project management experience required for the CPMAI. As I said earlier, as long as you are connected with the AI, you may need the CPMAI. Okay. However, having an understanding of the project management and the product management methodology and some AI fundamental knowledge. See, when I say fundamental knowledge, I'm pretty sure we are all using, let's say, LLMs, large language models, like we have Copilot, ChatGPT, or Claude, right, or Gemini. There are multiple models out there. As long as you are using them, you have a fair understanding of it, good enough. Because this CPMAI talks about right from the beginning, what do you mean by AI and what is not AI, where you apply, where you don't apply, in what are the different types of applications of AI. Then it talks about how, the CPI methodology or the framework that I discussed earlier. So it starts from the scratch. Okay, so there is no prior project management experience required, but it is good to understand how the project works. It makes the life simple, nothing else. Good. Now, okay, certification process, as I said here. So now, how do we go about the certification? This is just a roadmap that I have. This is into 4 stages. Stage 1, 2, 3, and 4. Stage 1 is to acquire the knowledge about the AI systems and how are we going to manage the AI. This is about approximately 25 hours. This is also through the training that we are going to offer. Then build the skills. You can do the offline exercises. You can experiment with AI. See, experimenting with the AI is not required for the CPMAI. Okay, you are not required to build any applications. You are not going to write any software code, not necessarily, in other words. Okay, and we are also going to provide you the mock exams which you can attend. Okay, and basically you're going to build the skills over and above the knowledge that you acquired in the first phase, and then consolidating the knowledge. Right, again about 25 hours. Some intense preparation, you may need a week or 2 before the exam, right? Like any other exams, I would say. Right? You continue with the mock exams. You may go back and look at some areas where you are a bit weak. You want to strengthen, right? And any online forms that we are going to. And finally, you take the exam. So overall, on an average, I'm talking, because people are having varied level of AI literacy, right? Overall, about 125 hours should be good enough to pass through the CPMAI. Okay, which I suggest you to spend about 10 to 11 weeks. Okay, see, like any change in this world, when you want to see a real change, a transformation within you, there is no shortcut. Right? Even here also the same. And of course, after you go through a transformative change, after putting so much of effort, try to understand, and this is highly interesting as well, believe me. Okay, and you appreciate yourself at the end. Certificate is one of the things, right? It is just one of the things. But the journey takes you through a solid understanding of the AI technology, right? And you will be able to talk fluently in your own company about the AI, making present, convincing the stakeholders, right? And of course, as the technology evolve, it will help you to evolve as well. And this is going to be for our lifetime, no doubt about it. Okay, Sanal, are you there? Okay, probably he.
I don't know, Harish, if you can hear me or not. I think there are some issues with the mic.
Oh, now we can hear you, Sanal.
We can.
Welcome.
Yes,
Welcome.
yes.
Okay.
Oh, that's great. So, Sanal, we started with CPMAI, the overall process framework for whom this is applicable, and what are the questions that we had. Okay. So I was talking about sharing, understanding about the preparation method, how we go about. Okay. And this is a continuous process, as I said. AI is a continuous one, and this is also continuous. Good. Okay. Now, how much effort and how long, as I said, about 125 hours should be good enough. Those who have a good understanding of the AI technology and working into it may need bit lesser as well. But it depends on the individual and how much you're going to study. The training, the study of the standards or the material that are going to be there, attend the mock test, and how we are going to be comfortable. It depends on a lot. But by and large, about 100 to 125 hours should be good enough. One of my students from Poland, she said, Harish, I just studied for 3 weeks, done. But she had a very good, she was working in and out on a AI. Okay. I don't think she has put even 60, 70 hours. But not everyone like that, as I said, but overall 125 hours should be good. And as I suggested, plan it over 3 to 4 months, you should be good. Unless otherwise you have some need or you have a spare time to dedicate for this. You can also do it 1 to 2 months as well. I think 2 months should be good enough, comfortably. Yeah. Okay. Sanal, what do you think?
So the students mostly coming to us are like, some of them have like very good background. Some of them are mandated by the company to complete in a month. So it all depends upon how much hours you can invest in a day. So I have also students who pass in less than 2 weeks, but then they have dedicated time. They spend a lot of time, around 8-10 hours a day and all. And weekends probably, they maybe greater study number of hours of study time. So it all depends. So if you're going in a normal pace, 1 month should be more than enough to study and pass the exam.
Good.
Provided you can spend 2 to 3 hours a day and maybe more during weekends.
Yeah, that's good. Okay, then the last question. How technical is it? How much of ITSM understanding I should have? Of course, the CPI methodology is, anyone who have an understanding about project management can follow it easily. However, this is bit connected to the ITSM. So, Sanal, what do you think?
So, Harish, let me give a little background. So, I don't know if any of you know that, CPMA had a V7 exam. So that was a starting. So you all know that this CPMI methodology is nothing but those of you from the data mining industry might know that there was a CRISP methodology, right? CRISP, cross industry reference method. So that was used for data mining projects. So what CPMI has done is that they have taken that methodology and added governance, guardrails, agility principles to it, and made it something called a CPMI methodology. So the V7 exam was little technical. You should have known little technicalities, but the V8 is like when they transition from Cognitica to PMI, they carried forward a lot of technicalities. But the V8 exam is if you have basic understanding of AI and ML concepts, and then if you are a PMP, if you have taken your PMP exam, you already know how PMI asks questions on, what should a project manager do next, what is expected from the project manager from those perspective. So what I can see is that
But
the
Sanal,
V8 is,
one question there, Sanal.
yeah.
Example, if I don't know much about the AI models, okay, if I just use the tools, maybe like Copilot or Gemini and or Claude, so how difficult for me it is going to be from your perspective to take up the CPMI?
Looking at the looking at the current exam, if it will not take more than a week to get the basics of AI and ML.
Including
So
the AI models, right?
AI models, there aren't much about it. So if you know the basic LLMs, diffusion models. So you don't even need to know a great deal about them. You just need to know what they do. Because suppose some of the questions will have some technical terms. So if you have some idea about the technical term, it is much little more easier to answer. That's all.
Okay, good. So see, the core component of the overall AI as such is the model. There are several models that we use for a AI product. So we are not within the AI model. Okay, so in the CPMAI, we are going to use that model for our requirements. Okay, so no need to get into too technical into it, but we should know what model to use for what application should be sufficient. That is something, non-technical, I would say. Bit of statistics understanding may also help, but that should be good enough. Very good.
So for those of you who are thinking what models are, in simple term, model is nothing your algorithm code plus your data. So that is your model. So it's a simple mathematical representation. You don't have to go into a lot of technicalities of all these on algorithms and code or anything. So you will basically be managing a team that will be supplementing you, supporting you on all these technical aspects. So as a project manager, CPMI has listed out a lot of things that you are supposed to do. Your checklist, the decision points, the action points that you are supposed to take as a project manager. But you are not expected to, get into a lot of decisions like, which algorithms to choose. That is something for your technical team. You might have some say in some of those things, but a lot of technicalities are not expected from you out of this exam.
Good, good. Well, guys, these are the few questions I thought you all may have. Okay, and as a first part to introduce the CPMA at a very high level and also talk about how we can look at this certification, why it is going to be helpful, and how do we go about. Okay. So maybe we can have a look at the questions now. Okay. Krishna, there are maybe many questions. How do we take it up?
We have Anil raising his hand. I think, Anil, please.
There was one in the chat I answered in the chat itself. If further explanation is required, please let us know.
Yeah, this is a different question. That's a different question. So, you said one is the Acepro module we have to take for the exam. That's one, and then the PMI has a bundle which we have to buy, and then the exam fees, right? So, do you have any idea about the numbers? Like, for example, how much is the Acepro bundle? How much is the PMI bundle? And what is the overall cost looking at for the whole exam?
Very good. Yeah. Okay. See, the step one, the Acepro CPMA preparation course, we are introducing in September. That's for sure. However, we have not worked out finer details about it, which may take a couple of more days, and maybe my colleague Krishna will come back to you. But surely the value add from us, okay, I mean from the value add from us is about a good understanding of the AI technology. Okay, first point. Second, understanding the CPMI process framework so that you can confidently talk about the AI technology and how it can be adopted in your company, or if it is already adopted, how we can, sustain it with a better understanding. And this is evolving, you will also evolve. This is the foremost benefit, I would say, you get it from CPMAI and from Acepro. Of course, next, as a certification process, we are going to have 24 hours of instructor-led training. And also, we are going to provide you the mock exams and the session recordings and practice questions and course completion certificates, and also 24 PDOs that to retain other certification from PMI. Okay. Now, going back to that, let me clear here. You can also start with step 2. Okay, you can go to PMI site, buy the bundle. Okay, the PMI website lists the price for each country, and you can have a look at that as well. So PMI is going to provide you the self-learning kit, which is about 1,500 pages, if you ask me, or plus. And of course, one can go through fully. However, this is my view. Of course, each of us have our own way of learning as well. It's quite exhausting. Okay, and one may not get a very good information just by going through bundle pack as well. What I mean is, it is like, swimming in the ocean. Okay, so every time you see a term, you tend to go and get more information out of that framework. Okay, so you go to YouTube videos, you go to internet, you ask the chat GPT and all that. But again, what I'm trying to say is, it is not going to be helping you in optimized learning. When I say optimized learning, I said this itself takes about 125 hours in over next, let's say, 2 months, right? And this is going to create a real good transformation. So we have to have a self-disciplined approach towards what we want to earn, what we want to learn, and how are we going to have recognition from the CPMAI certification. That is where the Acepro certification course is going to help. Otherwise, you go start with step 2 and go to step 3. Okay, step 2, when you start, it may need more effort, or it may need more time. And in my observation, what I have observed so far, because these are going to be bit a long term. It is not that you get a 1 week, you read a website or a book or a training, and you get some 20 questions, you answer, you get a certificate. No, this is going to create a transformation as a site. So we have to be disciplined. That discipline many a times under question from ourselves because of the various priorities we have in life, right? Because I'm talking about 2 months, 100 hours, or 3 hours, 3 months, 100 hours, right? It's quite difficult for someone to focus and go and do it. But it is possible. I'm not saying that. That is where Acepro is going to help you. Yeah.
Anil, I think, have we answered your question so that we can move with Nishant?
That's fine. Thank you. I got it. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Great. Yes, hi Nishant, please.
Nishant, you can talk. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so meanwhile, the mic issues are getting resolved. So many of the students who are taking the CPMA exam, right? So they come back to us on suggestions, on help, once they actually get an opportunity and start implementing. So what the theory that you have learned, to a certain extent, putting it to practice is a different thing, right? So there is a lot of people contacting us, also asking them to help. Okay, how to formulate the problem? Or they share their formulation problem, saying that, okay, have I formulated it right? Is this actually an AI problem or not? So then, that is actually then we get into the practicality of it. So I think the PMI materials it's just explaining, I don't know, the methodologies and going. Practical aspect of it is something very different. So that is what my experience is based on my interaction with students.
In other words, CPMAI is for understanding how you manage the project, AI project, And of course, you can implement that methodology, but not here we are not focusing on the technology. Yeah, good.
I think we have Venugopal asking a question. Please, Venugopal.
You can unmute yourself.
Yeah, sorry, I was talking. So, hi Harish, hi Sanal. It's great to see you guys here. I've been following Sanal for a couple of months, and I've seen a lot of your students achieving CPMA. And I've bought the bundle as a gift from the company, so I'm waiting to start the course. I just wanted to get to know more about the details. It's a great seminar. Harish, you explained it really well. And one question I have here is, you explained you have Acepro bundle, and we have to buy the PMI bundle.
Ah.
According to the CPMI, we need to finish this 21 hours course before we
Yes.
take the exam. So does that
Okay.
mean that we need to also do this before we go to the exam, or is it enough just to go to, get through the Acepro bundle?
Very good. This development is about a week before. Okay, what I'm going to talk about. Earlier, PMI had the self-learning kit on their website. You just need to buy it, step number two, and go through it and then take the exam. Now, PMI have also thought about how difficult for someone this to be, and also have a structured learning, as I said earlier. That is where they have opened up the instructor-led course as well. See, I did the PMI, what do you call it, authorized training instructor for CPMA just last week, because it was open up in the last week. So here we are going to have a student kit, which we are going to get from the PMI, or my delivery will be based on the student kit that you are going to get as well. Okay, so it is the what do you call it, self-paced learning packaged in a different way, and we are going to add our own slides as well, which will make the life more easier. Okay, that is a value add you can say from Acepro. Okay, so I hope this this answer to your question.
Yeah, it's partly. So I just would like to know if Sanal is also part of this course preparation.
Yeah, of course. Sanal is part of the overall AI program that we have, and of course, as I said, we are still planning, but we wanted to start with a first webinar here, and of course, this we are in the final planning. I can say, yes, we are going to be with you.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Nishant has a question in chat. Nishant has a question in chat. You can take it up, Mr. Harish.
Okay. So what Nishant says is, not sure I'm audible. My question is this: can I use the videos towards renewal of my PGMP credential? Yes, very much. Yes. You can use 24 videos to renew your PGMP credential. Okay, so you get 24. I mean, out of PMI course. Okay, sorry, Acepro course, you'll get 24 videos which you can use. Good. I hope. I mean, not only PGMP. I would say any the certification that you have from PMI, you can expect that to fill in 24. Okay, good. Hope that answered the question. Good. Well, then let me go back to this one. Of course, there may be many questions you may have apart from what I have captured here. So we can go
Venkatesh has a
about it.
question.
Yes,
Venkatesh has a question. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Venkatesh.
Venkatesh. Yeah. So my question is, if you go back to the previous slide, right, on that student kit.
Yes. Okay.
Okay. So I'm just for my clarity, the step one is the course material that Acepro provides, which is still in works.
Yeah.
Step two is that PMI student kit that can be bought online through PMI site.
Yes.
Correct? And
Yeah.
exam
See,
voucher, anyways,
uh,
everybody pays for the exam.
yes.
Sorry.
Okay. A
So
small
my
correction over there.
Mhm.
Small correction over
Mhm.
there. Our Acepro CPMAI prep course, the courseware is based on the student kit that you're going to have. See, PMI, as a authorized trainer, I get the instructor kit from the PMI, which is somewhat very similar to what you have in a student kit. Okay, we will not just have maybe additional information about how long each slide takes and what you should be talking about. That was, however, it is very exhaustive. Maybe about, as I said, 1,500 plus slides, which is very difficult to comprehend as a whole. So what we do, be it CPMI or PMP or RMP exams, we are going to have our slides, which is going to aggregate much of the concept that we have that is discussed in detail in the student kit you get it. So we may go on to a slide, well on as much as required, and we move on to the next. Because later, anyway, you can go to the instructor kit, and with our discussion that we are going to have in the step one is going to help you understand it much better. Okay.
Okay.
Can
So
I, can,
Venkatesh,
can
please go
I,
ahead. Yeah, sorry.
yeah.
sorry.
Venkatesh, go ahead, please. Yeah.
Yeah. So my simple question is, can I take the CPMAI test just buying the student kit, or is it mandatory to take the ACE Pro course of that 24 hours?
Good. So you can, step one is optional. Okay. Step
Okay.
two is mandatory. Of course, step three follows. Step one is optional. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
So the
Okay.
value add from Acepro, let me just come back to that again. It's a structured way of preparing for the exam. Second, as Sanal said, okay, taking practical examples and how we can implement that into the work itself, right? Though, I mean, and also how we can master the CPI methodology for AI development. Of course, this is covered in, I mean, the step two, but one need to have a very good discipline for that. That's what I have observed. Okay, so
Yeah.
that is why step one may add value.
Okay. Thank you.
Good.
I think Anil has a question.
Yeah, thank you. So sir, you said so if I take the ACE Pro prep course, I think should still buy the bundle from PMI. That's mandatory, but I need not study the bundle, right? I mean, if I go through your course, that is good enough for me to take the exam, or should I still study the bundle pack which I get from PMI as well?
Okay, very good. See, in the CPM Pro prep course, okay, we are going to dwell on the subjects in detail. After that, you still need to go through the standard, okay, digital guide for managing AI projects from PMI and ECO document should be good enough. These two should take you to the exam directly, okay. But if you want to refer, if you want to improve on, if you have time, you can go through the student kit, which is anyway, which we will be having our course based on as well. Okay. So in that way, step two is going to be a bit optional.
All right, so thank you, sir.
Good. Yeah. And you had a question. Okay. Sanal already answered. Good. Guys, there are many questions in the chat window. Sanal is also answering in between. So have a look at over there as well. Okay. Fantastic.
I think.
Yeah. So
Great. So do we have more questions from the participants? So we can take it forward with the questions. Anyone wants to ask questions, please feel free to raise your hand or unmute your mic and we can take it forward. Okay, I assume that I think no more questions as of now. I think everything, whatever we were able to cover. So before we wind up the call, maybe as a punchline, I would request Sanal to give a very short and brief on how or why the certification. See, step 1, step 2, step 3, PMI bundle or Pro bundle, that comes later. But why the certification CPMAI matters now for every project professionals or people who are not exactly coming from project background as well. Why do you think, Sanal, we have to, or a professional has to go through the certification today or tomorrow?
It is because look at the number of look at if you look at Standard and Poor S&P study, or Gartner you or you NTT data study. So they are reporting like there are many initiatives starting as AI projects or ML projects, and most of them are failing. There are reports of 80% failing, 90% failing, 42% of the Gen AI projects don't even make to production. They are scrapped at the test stage itself. So it is not actually a technology problem, because algorithms, be it your decision tree, regression, classification, all these classical algorithms or neural networks, adding layers, subtracting layers, improving results, all these are something that works naturally. So where the problem lies is the problem of project management, because many organizations manage this as a software development side. If you manage this as a traditional waterfall, not all industries waterfall fits, right? And if you manage this as an agile project exclusively, agile might be good for your code iteration, model iteration. What will you do about the data? So the problem here is that across the world, everybody realizes that there needs to be some sort of a methodology that can actually help you deliver these projects. So if you look at the CPMI methodology, CPMI methodology phase 1, 2, and 3, you have not even started building anything. So there is a lot of check. So you are actually checking, you're actually thinking about building the governance from the start, putting all the necessary guardrails, thinking sustainability kind of things, incorporating it much earlier in the design phase itself, so that you already know by the time you come to the phase 4, which is where the actual building starts, you are ready. So if you manage it like your traditional softwares, like you already know like what the output is going to be. That's not the case with uh, your AI projects. And I think PMI recognizes this, and there aren't many framework across the world that can manage AI projects, right? You have the NIST framework that largely takes care of the risk part of it. Then you have the ISO IEC 42001 that is more on the implementation side. So this talks about the methodology that can help you manage and deliver AI projects, because this is not a waterfall method. You see, this is highly iterative. So even at the phase 4 or phase 5, I might still go back to phase 1 or phase 2. So it is already altogether a different approach for managing. So I don't think this many people understand this, and once they start utilizing this in their projects, there will be greater chances of delivering successful AI ML projects. So that is also one of the main reason there aren't much recognized methodologies for managing the AI and ML projects. Like I said earlier in my listing, the CRISP DM methodology was the closest we had, but that lacks agility and governance principles. So without governance principles, governance is like your traffic lights, right? Everybody, otherwise, if the traffic lights don't function, from all the four sides, cars, vehicles will come and everything will crash. So at least this will regulate your speed, ensure what needs to come, and ensure that you actually deliver projects that actually has some value. So that in a nutshell, I don't know if I've taken too much time explaining this, but I hope you understand
No,
what
no, that
I'm
is
trying to
great.
say.
Of course, of course, of course. That is great. I think before winding up, we have one last question from Abdul. He has raised his hand. So Abdul, if you can ask the question, then we can quickly wind up the session and talk about next. Yes, please.
Hey, hi, gentlemen. It was wonderful listening to my old friend Harish. I've known Harish for years, and I can vouch that you're in safe hands
Thank you.
when you talk about learning a new concept or anything. And Sanal has been there for quite some time. Now, I have been handling all these machine learning programs for quite a time now. Now, it's very important for before you jump into CPMI, you should in parallel be very careful about your domain knowledge. Some of you might be from fintech, some of you might be from manufacturing. So it's ultimately boils down to domain knowledge. If you don't have your domain knowledge well in place, whatever tools you use CPMA methodology or whatever methodology, it's not going to work because you don't know how that domain works.
Yeah.
So you have to be very careful about your domain knowledge. That's where the um, rubber meets the road. And also, it's not prior to this AI buzzword revolution, we would say, okay, project management is technology agnostic. You would go into any vertical and okay, say, okay, what is the scope of work? What is the acceptance criteria? Waterfall or agile? And you would take it and take a little bit of time to understand what exactly is going on. But here it's a different ball game. You need to spend a lot of time, work very hard, understand AI as as a domain. You need to understand the glossary. You need to understand when you sit down in a meeting with subject matter experts, and you don't want to be a postman, in a
Yeah.
waterfall environment. Okay, this is the scope. Go back, sit with SME, and then he will give you something, and then go back to business. You should be able to articulate first your domain knowledge, and you spend enough time understanding what AI is. There's a lot of uh, I would suggest make a personalized prompt, use Claude or use ChatGPT. It's easy now, and
Yes.
give your personality to that prompt, and tell the prompt that this is who I am, this is my life cycle, this is what I've been doing. Now I'm getting into this journey of CPMI, and I want to be handling AI projects. It will exactly tell you what you need to do. You don't need to be a coder. You don't need to
Yeah.
be a subject matter expert in AI, but you need to understand it very well so that you get into discussions, and you will see the growth will be very quick because there are very few project managers who really understand AI, right?
Yes.
So it's a good time, and you are in safe hands with Sanal and Harish. So just be with them and spend time on understanding data. I would also suggest if you can get hold of the DAMA standard, which is the Certified Data Management Professional CDMP, and get that book, read exactly what is data, because you need to know where data is coming from, how do you correlate, what is in it for maybe you as a project manager, let's say you are handling a large AI initiative down the line, you understand that lots of data is missing. This correlation is not done, and it's not what the customer would like. Today, we don't talk about, you know, triple constraints, budget, time, scope. No, that's given. You have to do it, but it's about the outcome. You would be on budget, you would be on scope, you would be on time, but project will be still a failure. Why? Because you don't know the building blocks, right? Understand data, take your time, don't rush, be with Harish and Sanal, and get their blessings, and work very hard. So, and you will succeed, really.
Thank you.
Can,
Thank you
Thank
so
you,
can,
much,
Harish
sir,
and
for
Sanal. Thanks.
teaching me.
can you
Thank you
Thank
so
please
you.
much, sir.
repeat the
Thank
book?
you.
Can you please?
That's the practitioners talk. Okay, who have know the ground realities, I would say.
I
That's
think
what.
we have one question from Venugopal, please.
Yes, please.
Abdul has mentioned one book about the data concepts. Can you repeat
There's
that
a
book name, please?
there's a standard
Dama.
called DAMA, DAMA. Okay,
Mhm.
you just
Okay.
Google, and it's not. I believe it would be less than $100. Just buy that. And today it's, yeah, version 2 is the latest. Just download that and see you only need to see the process maps inside. Like if we talk about data integration, data quality, data governance, if you understand that process map, and then when you go into a large AI meeting, you can question people like the data is not right. I would need like this. Give me an artifact, prepare, and it will tell you exactly, you know, creating a project charter for data life cycle is totally a different ball game. You will get amazed. What is this? I've never done this, right? So it's totally different ball game. Make sure that you understand data in parallel, and I would suggest don't take more than 3 months to do all of this. Prepare a roadmap,
Yes.
and 3 months should be enough, and you get certified. And all the best, guys. Thank you.
Good. Good.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you,
Thank you.
Abdul.
See,
I think
as Mobeen said, see, that's very important message that, I mean, what I could make out from that, you should not take too much of a time to pursue something. But as I said, we are all with constraints. office, family, yourself. There is a lot of. With all that, we have to create a change for ourselves is not an easy question. That is where many people, even though interested, not able to pursue their own progression. I mean, I want to learn something new very well is difficult one. That is where having a structured approach in whatever the way, doesn't matter. You should have a structured approach, plan it, keep pursuing it, and complete like a project. Most difficult thing is self-discipline. If you have to manage a project for someone else, there are people to ask you the question, what is happening to project? But when it comes to their own, many a times no one is going to ask you that question, but you have to keep asking it. Okay, good. Thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you everyone for the wonderful questions. I mean, rather interesting, rather interactive, very much. And Abdul, thank you for jumping in and covering a different topic, which is really good. That is what this webinar series is all about. It's not just we are talking and you are listening. It's nothing like that. It is going to be entirely discussion oriented, which we started with a great number and great enthusiasm today. And maybe in the upcoming weeks, we'll have more and more webinars, and I request all of you to re-participate. Let's do our homework together, whatever Sanal and Mr. Hari spoke and whatever advice Abdul also has given. And we can connect again, discuss on the topics, and that is what it should all be about. And I think we have answered all the questions, and we are good to wind up today. So for attending this webinar, all of you would be getting one PDU from our end, which you can claim to retain any of your PMI certification. And for the future webinars as well, we would like to plan the same, one PDU. So you can keep attending, you can keep gaining the right knowledge, and you can keep renewing your certification. There is a goal, there is a value add from this webinar as well, takeaway. And this meeting is entirely recorded, and it is going to be uploaded on YouTube tonight. And by tomorrow, all of you who have attended are going to get the link. You can kindly share it with your friends, your colleagues, and you can rewatch it for any of the questions you may recall. And yeah, I think we'll share you the more details about the course, about whatever we covered today and everything in the upcoming days. And let's all stay in touch. And that's it from my end. Happy to have you all. And anything from your end, Mr. Harish and Sanal, we can wind up otherwise.
Yes. Thank you. Good.
Yes.
See you then. Yeah. Have a happy evening, morning,
Happy weekend.
day. Enjoy. Weekend. Bye.
Yes. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you for joining.